Whether you're the worst team since the Benchwarmers or the best team since the Sandlot, you all have one thing in common. There's at least one player on your team who helps you win games. And yeah, that even goes for you Las Vegas A's fans. I'm just kidding around, Oakland. Please don't get mad at me. Starting off, we have the 112-loss Oakland Athletics, the worst team of 2023. After being so bad, you expect there to really just be no bright spots. But believe it or not, even they have a player to build around. Second baseman Zach Geloff. Geloff came up last year, and he became a reason for A's fans to watch games. In his first 25 games, he was sensational, putting up 8 home runs, 978 OPS, and a 281 batting average. For a team that had little to no talent, this man looked like a lord and savior. This was his end-of-year statistics. If he would have played all year, he would have been a top contender for Rookie of the Year. Cincinnati Reds, we have Spencer Steer. The young 25-year-old came up, and he was not a letdown. Even on such a stacked Reds team, he was still the best player. First of all, he could play all over the field. He had 60 starts at first base, 46 at third, 34 in left field, 15 at second, 6 at DH, and 2 in right field. Possessing the traits to go and play all over the defense and then also do it at a high level, not easy to do. Offensively, he was also a beast, proving to be the team's best player. New York Yankees, Aaron Judge. Before I talk about Aaron, I just want to say Garrett Cole was almost the pick. I mean, he won the Cy Young last year, it was his very best season, but here's why I chose Judge over Cole. Any Yankees fan could tell you that lineup was dysfunctional and did not work without Aaron Judge. He's the heart and soul of the lineup. I mean, it all revolves around him, and you saw that whenever he was injured last year and was not playing. Here's the record when he was in the lineup, and here's the record when he was not in their lineup. Day and night difference that impacts New York on a very high level. And then you look at his stat line. I mean, even in a year where he was injured and he didn't get to play all season, this guy was doing damage, and that's what you got to give him credit for. He is the Yankees' best player, no doubt about it. Los Angeles Dodgers, there's really only one correct choice.
The obvious choice for the job.
He's right.
A name you all know. It starts with an S.
That's me.
Please welcome our new manager,
Austin Barnes. An electric 400 OPS at catcher to go along with a 180 batting average and a great defensive catcher. Austin Barnes will win MVP in 2024. A mega extension is obviously coming for Barnes and the LA Dodgers after 2024. Chicago White Sox, Luis Robert. An easy pick for one of the most electric players in baseball. Luis Roberts has always been a good player, but 2023 was a new man that we saw out of Roberts. One who hit 38 home runs, one who flashed power and his speed. The White Sox have a poor team with a poor future, but at the very least, they have Luis Roberts on their side. New York Mets, Kodai Senga. I know what you're thinking, I should have gone with Lindor or Nemo, and you might be right if you think that, but Kodai Senga was filthy last year in his very first year. He might already have the best pitch in the league with his ghost ball. It fades from being in the strike zone, and then it disappears like Casper the Ghost. He was also number 5 in ERA among pitchers last season. Senga is the real deal and the best player on the New York Mets. Philadelphia Phillies, Bryce Harper. Even at 31 years old, he's still unbelievable. He's currently making the full-time transition to first base, so he's still improving on that. Offensively, his bat changes that Phillies lineup. Having a star that they could depend on like him, it's proven to be really big. I mean, look at his postseason stats with the Phillies. He's clutch, he's reliable, he's everything that you would ask for in a best player. Milwaukee Brewers, Corbin Burnes. Year in and year out, this man has pitched his ass off and doing his best to help the team win. But the Brewers' relationship with Burnes is currently going downhill, especially considering he's in a contract year. We can't expect Burnes to be a Brewer for much longer, but he is currently their best player. Washington Nationals, Mackenzie Gore. He's currently viewed as the future ace of the team by fans, and that's because he has some of the nastiest stuff in baseball, but he does unfortunately have his issues. The biggest one is consistency. Gore has made it a top priority to improve his consistency, and hopefully 2024 is going to be showcasing his abilities at their best. Because he certainly wants to improve off of a 4.42 ERA that he had last season. Baltimore Orioles, we have Adley Rutschman, and not too often do you hear a catcher being praised as the very best player, outside of Austin Barnes of course, but Adley has been at a different level of good. Offensively, he provides every trait that you could want from a hitter. The former first-round pick just does not strike out, he has good power skills, contact, and he walks. This man is the face of the Baltimore Orioles, well, I guess until he inevitably signs the Dodgers in 2028. Arizona Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll. I mean, talk about a freaking rookie year. He led the team in WAR in his very first season, and not only did he hit 25 home runs, but he also stole 50 bases. No Diamondbacks rookie has ever done that in a single year. Not to mention, he rose to the occasion in his very first postseason. I'm excited about Carroll, and you certainly should be too. San Francisco Giants, we got Logan Webb. Webb is a guy who's been developing since 2019. It's been a long time, by the way, but his success is finally paying off, developing one of the top sinkers in baseball over the last few years, even finishing in second place for the NL Cy Young in 2023. This Giants roster is close to being competitive, and I'm sure as hell that he will be the best pitcher on the team whenever they're back in the playoffs. Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr. He had one of the best MVP seasons that we have ever seen from any player in MLB history, and quite frankly, he didn't look human. A .337 average, 41 homers, I mean, what in the world do you mean? He also led MLB with 73 stolen bases. You're not going to find a player with that speed, power, and contact in one season ever again. Detroit Tigers, Spencer Torkelson. After having a poor rookie year in 2022, a lot of people wrote him off for his next year. So what did he do? He improved his average from 202 to 233, and he hit 31 home runs. The kid is 23 years old, playing with so many others who are being developed, and it's a project for a lot of this roster, and he's going to be one of the biggest pieces of this upcoming generation of Tigers. Tampa Bay Rays, Randy Arozarena. And to say that Randy's good for Tampa would be an understatement, because not only is he the fan favorite that has his own part of the ballpark, but he's also a great player, putting up good stats and always making flashy defensive plays. He's just one of those players that fans never want to let go of. The 28-year-old is under contract for a good bit of time, so hopefully he ends up staying in Tampa Bay. Colorado Rockies, Nolan Jones. Any Rockies fan could tell you, Nolan Jones is the real deal. Playing at a stadium like Coors Field where home runs fly is so perfect for Jones. He had an OPS of 138 plus last year, something that Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, and Charlie Blackmon have never achieved in a Rockies uniform. Miami Marlins, I gotta go Jesus Luzardo. Yeah, I could have gone Luis Arias, but I really feel like taking the pitching route here. You know, with the ace of the team out in Sandy Alcantara, I think that they're going to be putting all the weight on Jesus Luzardo. He will be the leader of that rotation, proving he is as good as everyone says he is. 2023 was his very first year pitching fully healthy, and he performed at a very high level doing it. You gotta hope that 2024 is going to be another year of that, because the Miami Marlins desperately need that. Boston Red Sox, Rafael Devers. Devers had a down year in 2023, not performing to what fans were expecting and usually expect out of him. Yet a down year for Devers is still 33 home runs and a .851 OPS. He's going to be in Boston for at least another 11 seasons, and the only thing that fans are truly asking from him is to improve his defense. Because defensively, he was awful last year, ranking as the 101st worst defender out of 111. If he can develop into just an average defender, Rafi would be considered consistently a top 5 third baseman. Toronto Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman. 2 years in Toronto so far, he has not been a letdown. Not only is his ERA great, but he had the best WAR on the team with a 5.3 WAR. The Blue Jays rotation in general is just unbelievable, and Gausman is the main piece of all of that. He finished third in the AL Cy Young voting behind Garrett Cole and Sonny Gray. The pitching is going to be how the Blue Jays win games next year, so expect another big year out of Kevin Gausman. Texas Rangers, Corey Seager. Holy fuck, was he the best shortstop in MLB or what? 1,000 OPS, 327 average, and 33 bombs. Texas won the World Series, and for good reason. Having such a valuable player throughout the regular season and postseason resulted in winning. At 29 years old, he still has plenty of years left of dominating for the Rangers as their franchise player. Chicago Cubs, Dansby Swanson. I would go Cody Bellinger here, but he is not officially back at the time of filming. So, Dansby, what do we got? Well, defensively, Dansby is a great star player. His glove helps out the Cubs infield so much. His bat, on the other hand, is also good. You know, nothing mind-blowing, but he's a good player with good stats. I expect the Cubs to be good next year, and Dansby is going to be a big part of that entire process. Pittsburgh Pirates, Brian Reynolds. A few years ago, a young prospect was shipped over to become a Pittsburgh Pirate with Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay, that didn't really happen, but he was traded to Pittsburgh, and in his time with the Buccos, he's been far above expectations, achieving all-star games and having all-star years. He's always able to put up good numbers through contact and home runs, while also providing Pittsburgh with a top glove in the outfield. Last April, the Pirates even extended him. It was a massive 8-year contract worth $106 million for their best player to become their most expensive player. St. Louis Cardinals, Nolan Arenado. He's been a Cardinal since 2021, putting up multiple Gold Glove years and still being effective offensively. He's under contract for a total of 4 seasons. Cardinals are looking to build around him in their infield, and as a Red Sox fan, I can tell you that having good third base defense really is important because, the Red Sox don't have any, but if you're a Cardinals fan, you know all about elite defense at third base. San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis didn't play at all in 2022 because of a suspension and an injury. Coming back from both those things, I didn't think it was going to fare very well for him. Padres brought in a new shortstop with Xander Bogaerts, so he would now be an outfielder. In the outfield, Tatis was unbelievable, and it really just surprised me. Doing so well, in fact, he won the NL Platinum Glove, the reward that goes to the very best defender in the NL. He's a guy that just continues to be
superhuman.
Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez. Can you believe he's been in Cleveland for 10 years now at the MLB level? Well, Cleveland fans can, because he's been the superstar in this team year in and year out. Ever since Francisco Lindor was traded, fans have completely turned their heads to Jose Ramirez, and he's delivered with great success year after year. The switch-hitting third baseman has been widely regarded as one of the best in the game every year now. He continues to stay consistent, which is really all you can ask for. Seattle Mariners, George Kirby. The 25-year-old came up last year with big expectations, and he's so far delivered on them, displaying back-to-back 3 ERA seasons. And what makes him so special is that he's able to pitch the ball wherever he wants it. It's like he envisions it in his mind, and he just makes it happen. AKA, control is no issue with him, and not to mention, he has some of the best stuff in baseball. Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt Jr., another face of the franchise player. This shortstop is just ridiculous. People wanted to break out in 2022, and he delivered, but he wasn't quite a superstar. He went into the season, and he turned into a brand new ball player. With his dynamic speed, bat, and improving defense, he will help lead this new generation of Royals to success. Minnesota Twins, Pablo Lopez. I almost went with Royce Lewis, but Lopez was just so valuable for this team last year. Obviously, Lopez had been a Miami Marlin, but they really wanted him to come here. So they went out, they traded Luis Arias, and then they brought in Pablo Lopez. He has been so good, 6 to 7 innings every single outing. Nothing is more beneficial than having a player like that in your rotation. After losing Sonny Gray, they're going to be looking for a guy in Lopez to have another great year. Houston Astros, Yordan Alvarez, one of my favorite players in baseball, and as a Red Sox fan, this is the closest thing that I actually have to David Ortiz now. Alvarez is one of the most clutch players in baseball, putting up great numbers in the playoffs every single year. His power and his size allows him to be unbelievable. Houston has this guy under contract for quite a while, and he'll be doing a lot of good things, I can tell you that for sure. Last but not quite least, we have the Angels. Their best player is Austin Barnes. Oh wait, I meant Shohei Ohtani. But Ohtani left this offseason, so the good thing is they do have Mike Trout. He's not cooked yet. I mean, he still has some good years left. In all seriousness, Mike Trout is still a top-of-the-line player. But I think moving him to DH and making him fully focus on hitting, this could get him back to being that insane player that we know that Mike Trout is. I'm still high on him, he's still a top player, he'll show you that in 2024. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and peace out.